Hi, I'm Brooklyn Roberts, and I'm here at CPAC 2010 with Representative Steve King from Iowa. And Congressman King, I've seen that you have been talking a lot about spending in Congress and the deficits. What do you think Obama's going to do with the second stimulus bill?
Well, I call it son of STEM, or STEM 2. It's the son of the stimulus plan from a year ago, almost exactly to the day. That $787 billion boondoggle. There are only 6% of the American people that believe that stimulus actually helped the economy, and are 94% of the people that are yet to be convinced of the White House's position. So he must think that if he would just do this again to the tune of $100 billion, plus or minus a few billion, that somehow or another we're going to see the light, and he would like to focus this more on small businesses and jobs. Here's what we're dealing with. It is not going to be useful for us to try to find a way to work in a compatible way with the president economically, because his philosophy economically is a Keynesian economic philosophy. And I have said that the president is a Keynesian economist on steroids. He believes that FDR's New Deal actually worked, but it would have worked a lot better, except FDR lost his nerve and failed to spend enough money. So that New Deal needed to be a lot bigger deal. And this president, this told me this over a year ago, will not make that same mistake. He calls it a mistake. And he will spend more and more money. He's like a gambler in the middle of the game, and he's down to a small amount that he hasn't left. He's already lost the rest. And he's doubling down and going all in to try to do something to gain the favor of the American people and try to stimulate the economy in the process. I do think that he's completely wrong on this, and I will oppose that agenda because I'm a person that believes in free enterprise. I believe in property rights, I believe in competition, low taxes, low regulation. I believe in the entrepreneurs, and especially small businesses, that are the people who create the new jobs and the ones who grow their businesses in the country. This is an anti-business environment. President Obama's economic view is that we're just a giant chain letter, and you can always go out there and sell another letter to another sucker. But in the end, the suckers are the grandchildren that are not yet born. And a baby born today in the city where we are will owe the federal government $44,000 on average just for the privilege of being a national American citizen. And by the time they start 5th grade under Obama's budget, they will owe the federal government $88,000. So that's enough to cause, especially young people, pause, and it's bringing a lot of politics into that.
Well, the only way to change that, it seems like, would be for Republicans to take Congress back. What do you think the chances of that are in 2010 or 2012?
I think as I look at this, I'm a little hesitant to predict that we would win the majority back, because there's a lot that can happen between now and November. By the same token, the odds are a lot better today than they were 2 or 3 months ago. And back then, I was predicting that Republicans would pick up 20 to 30 seats. We need 40 or 41, and then they would. So the odds are better today than they were 2 or 3 months ago. I think it's very close to even that we will win back the majority, but let's see what current events do. And we've got candidates that are still being recruited. We've got primaries, of course, that are being sorted out. But I'm very optimistic about our chances to win back the majority.
Well, we in Alabama are trying to get you 2 new colleagues, so conservative colleagues.
You already gave us one.
Well, we did give you one, and we're looking at Alabama District 2 to give you another one. But healthcare, can you tell us where we are with healthcare? It's like the thing that just won't die. It seems like it keeps coming back over and over.
I called it the Obamacare, or earlier today I called it Troika Care. The Troika being the three-way governing body of Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and President Obama. They don't have to go back to the American people for anything. They can go in a phone and decide what they want to do to America. That bill, the bill's 2 different versions, and one out of the Senate, one out of the House. They've apparently in the middle right now negotiating what the final terms will be. A reconciliation bill down towards the American people. That would be circumvent the filibuster in the Senate in an unprecedented fashion. And so what they are doing says they're not willing to hear no. Don't they understand? The loudest no that could possibly have been said wasn't the governor's election in Virginia, although it was loud. It wasn't Governor Christie's election in New Jersey, that was loud. But it was the ringing crescendo of Scott Brown governor's election in Massachusetts, the least likely place that anyone would think there would be relief come, reinforcements for liberty, came from Massachusetts again, 390 years after the Bill of Mayflower landed. And so I think that we're going to have to keep killing this bill. It is a cold-blooded monster. And if the weather's cold in the wintertime, cap and trade is frozen because we have snow in all 50 states. But Gila monsters were falling out, they were iguanas. They were falling out of the trees in Florida because they got so cold out there they couldn't do it. This bill now is at a point where they're ready to put this cold-blooded monster of Obamacare under the heat lamp and try to revive it again. And they threaten to bring it through reconciliation. They want to announce their bill on Monday, and then they will have put a gun to the head of Republicans meeting next Thursday that they think that they can make demands on Republicans by doing that. I say, if you put the reconciliation nuclear option gun to our heads, pull the trigger. I dare you. I double dog dare you to try to bring a bill like that through Congress. The first thing that will happen will be a repeal will be filed immediately. The second thing that will happen is the American people will rise up and fill the streets again. The third thing that will happen is a lot more Democrats will be thrown out of the House and the Senate, and the president, who has now lost his mojo, won't know where to look for it after November.
Right. You brought up the meeting with the Republican meeting with the president. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you think that's a good idea?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a bad idea to meet with the president, and because nothing good can come from it without a very strict set of preconditions. And of course, those preconditions I spoke about, but it is this: he's got to give up on the comprehensive bill, either bill that's coming out of the House or the Senate. Huge health care reform from the socialized medicine version he needs to admit that it's dead. Pull that bill off. We're not going to be negotiating on that. The second one is reconciliation, nuclear option. The president has to renounce it. That's no way to do business and say that you're bipartisan if you intend to circumvent the that has been so duly earned by the Scott Brown election in Massachusetts. So that's got to come off the table. In exchange, I'm going to suggest Republicans can take their comprehensive bill off the table too. That would be a fair trade. Now we've got a blank slate that we can write on. The American people know that if you draft a big comprehensive bill, that the reason for that is because the components couldn't pass on their own, or you would just bring them one at a time, pass them on their own. I want to pass individual bills, standalone pieces of legislation, one at a time, send it to the president's desk, get that signature, enact it into law, bring the next one. And then we can be straight up with the American people with the transparency that the American people deserve. And the very first bill to come needs to be tort reform, ending lawsuit abuse with regard to health care. And I would go all the way across the board for all of the tort reform that we need in every profession, but let's just confine our discussion to health care. Set that up on the table, and the trial lawyers are taking costing in the healthcare industry about 8.5% of the overall healthcare costs. That works out to be about $203 billion a year between premiums, litigation, and in defensive medicine, extra tests that are run, technical lawsuits. That $203 billion translates into $2 trillion over the course of a budget of 10 years, and that $203 billion a year reduced dramatically at the expense of the, I'm going to say, the greedy profits of the trial lawyers that essentially have turned the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate and the presidency into wholly owned subsidiaries for trial lawyers. That's got to end. The American people are not going to tolerate it. That's the first thing to do. And if we can get that done, we can go on to item number 2.
Well, thank you for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
And I want to say also for Alabama that I'm the chairman of the Conservative Opportunity Society. And so I host a breakfast every Wednesday morning session. We bring good, well-informed conservative speakers, Phyllis has spoken before. And in order to get the conservatives to show up that time of the morning in this town, I have to serve grits.
Grits are big in Alabama.
They are big, and so are conservatives. It's really nice to be with you.
Grits and conservatives. And thank you again, and good luck.
Good to be with you. Thank you.